Hello and welcome to my next episode of VR Rants, I guess. Today I'm going to be talking about the HTC Vive Pro Eye, and this is kind of like a mini review kind of thing. Kind of rants on my thoughts about the thing in general. But, yeah, I chilled hardcore for my index in a few videos ago. So now I'm going to talk about the opposite and about why this thing I do not prefer over the index. If you have watched that video, you will have known that I talk about the comfort, the heat issue, and just it overall just fits poorly on my head. And those criticisms are definitely valid, and I still have those. I have probably, I don't know, 300, 400 hours on this headset. Over the course of 3 months, I got in February, end of February, beginning of March, somewhere around there. Now, I had to buy it through eBay, used, because HTC doesn't sell the Vive Pro 1 anymore, obviously, because it's old. I didn't mean to jump, but whatever, fuck it. They discontinued the Vive Pro 1 and the Pro Eye, which falls under the Pro 1 family of headsets. And when I tried to reach out to customer support, it's a fault. To see if I could get, a refurbished one or a used one from them. They're like, oh, we don't sell it anymore. You're gonna have to buy it from a retailer. Okay, sure. They gave me a list of all the retailers, contacted each and every one of them, and they were like, oh yeah, we don't have any in stock. You're out of luck. I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. I'll just buy it off eBay. So I bought it off eBay. Now, I paid $800 for this headset. I'm a long ways away of getting 800 hours on this thing because it's just not comfortable. It fits pretty poorly to my skull, and because I can't mitigate any of the heat issues as well, my face gets sticky and hot, and I have to take it off like after 3 hours to wash my face and then put it back on. And I just don't like doing that. If I'm going to be in VR and I'm going to be immersed, I want to be in VR for the full 6 hours that I'm going to be in it without having to take my headset off, barring having to go to the restroom or anything life coming up, right? Now, that comfort issue is part of the reason I don't use it. Another part of the reason I don't use it is that I don't get the full experience of this headset out from it, because it's the Pro Eye. I got it for eye tracking, obviously, and unless you buy an avatar specifically that has eye tracking capabilities or add it yourself, like this avatar, there's no use to having eye tracking on VRChat specifically, because it doesn't allow for foveated rendering yet. I don't know if they plan on retroactively allowing foveated rendering for the Pro Eye or not, or if it's only going to be a mainstream thing for a different build or a different headset. I don't know. I don't even know how all that would work anyway with VRChat, but so far it's not a thing, right? And the avatars that have eye tracking specifically have to be made with the blend shapes on the avatar to allow it to be compatible. That's a whole other topic about face tracking and eye tracking and how much of a pain in the ass that is to set up on avatars that don't have it natively supported. But like, there's no real use case scenario for me to want to use this headset outside of I'm spending time with friends and them cuddling. Let's be honest, it's VRChat. Come on. You gotta know that that's a thing, that happens. You're just hanging out with your friends and you're just like, lay down next to them, rotate between their eyes. That's about like the only real use case scenario for eye tracking right now within VR chat. There's just not a whole lot of programs on PC VR that use eye tracking anyway. Which, I mean, it's like a new technology or whatever, and it's not fully adopted yet. So it's super niche, super experimental, and the use case scenarios are just very minimal, specifically for eye tracking. And same goes for lip tracking, right? So I have the lip tracking add-on, quote-unquote face tracking for this headset. I put it on this headset to have eye and lip tracking, so I get full expression for my face. And there just aren't that many use case scenarios for it outside of obviously cuddling. Now, that is another negative of why I don't use this headset a lot, is because it limits... Okay, I can use the avatars that don't have it, that don't have face tracking, but like, I bought this headset for the face tracking, for the eye tracking. I'm gonna use it, and it just limits my options of what avatars that I can and can't use. At least it feels like to me, because I'm got this weird head case scenario of I must use my eye tracking if I'm going to use this headset, because that's just how my mind works. And what I was talking about in the other video about the index was this headset does not sit fully against the bottom of my skull. You know, like that part of your neck where it like meets the base of your skull, and you got that little bump that goes, you know, like up. I like to have the pad of whatever headset I'm using to sit right there, so it fully supports my skull and it fully supports its weight on my skull. Now, this is a side tangent. It's kind of related to like how properly fitting gear to your body should works. I was in the military for 4 years, and we got issued these large backpacks that sit from over, you know, it's like the entire length of your back, and they fit up to 200 pounds of gear in it that you have to live out of for anywhere from 6 months to a year if you're deployed. And the way that those bags are supposed to sit on your body is on your hip is where the waistband goes, right? And then you have the back support that sits right there on your like pelvis, right above it. So it's not on your waist, and it's not on the middle of your back. It's supposed to like sit in that space to where the majority of your body is supporting that weight, and on top of your shoulders, so that you can it distributes the weight evenly depending on how the pack is weighed, right? All the heavier stuff at the bottom, all the lighter stuff at the top. That way, the majority of the weight is being distributed to where your legs are doing the carrying and not your back. Now, with this headset and how they designed it, it doesn't sit where I like to have it with like a helmet or something else that's going to sit on my head, because eventually the front weight of this headset's going to like start to bring my head down, because it's just the weight distribution on this thing is just not evenly distributed. And to me, that's a big problem, because I have a smaller head, and this thing was not designed for people with smaller heads. This thing is designed for people with a little larger heads than I do. But then you could argue the point, oh, just tighten it. Just scrunch it and tighten it, and then you have no issues. But then you start getting headaches from the pressure on your forehead, and that's just, no one wants a headache from wearing a headset for 6 hours. If you're going to spend 6 hours in VR, No one wants that, right? I don't want that. So I don't do that. And of course, how they have it set up with the hinge is that it stops at a certain point, right? Sorry, throat's a little dry. It stops at a certain point, so you can't tilt it down any further to get that proper fitment on your head if you wanted to. Now, and unless you wanted to like cannibalize the stopping mechanism and then just replace it to allow that range of movement to perfectly fit, but that's like not intended of how it should be used. So obviously I'm not going to do that. Oh wow, effort. Oh no. But no, I just don't like the out of the box experience with this does not fit me as a person, right? It doesn't fit my head. And I'm constantly having to adjust like the back of my headset, making sure it's tight enough to where it stays. And then I like to have my lenses close to my face to where I can get the maximum field of view from the headset. And inside the headset there are two rings, right? There are the rings that allow the IR cameras to see where your eyes are looking for the eye tracking. Those are on the outer edge of the lenses. And if the lenses are too close to your face, you're going to get those rings are going to pinch the bridge of your nose, depending on how your nose is structured. So constantly, I get out of VR, and I look in the mirror, and I got two marks just on my nose, and I'm like, it's uncomfortable. It's just like pinching my nose, and it's not good. Now, I'm holding my microphone here. This is another thing that I talked about in the other video, was the microphone on this thing is god-awful. So I'm using my actual microphone, my Audio-Technica AT2020, to make this video. Now, I haven't done comparisons between the Index and this thing, but I have heard that it is on par through the Discord, various Discord calls that I have done while on my Index, that these sound pretty comparable. I won't know for sure until I get to post and I can edit this. You'll see a thing if I come to that conclusion or not, if I remember to do it. And the microphone on this headset, all Vive headsets, anyway, but like I've heard people with the original Vive, their mic is ass. I've heard people with the mic on this, it's ass. I've heard myself on this thing, it's ass. I'm pretty sure the Pro 2 is the exact same with the microphone. It is probably ass. And HTC, why? You're selling a headset for $1,000, complete in box. Just put a better mic in it, dude. Ask Valve what microphone they used. Oh, we got a similar microphone. Cool. It would help everybody in VR be able to effectively communicate with one another if you can actually hear their voice in a clear and concise manner. If they speak, of course, if they speak. So, I don't know. I'm gonna switch from this microphone that I'm holding in my hand to my Index, or to this microphone on my HTC, and you are going to hear how just how poor it is. Alright, I am going to be switching here after this sentence. So next time you hear me, it will be from my Vive mic. Okay, so this is from the Vive mic, and it is peaking like crazy. Woo! But, yeah, gosh, this thing is like, yeah, it's peaking like crazy. It's much louder. I might need to adjust the level on that. -4? Yeah, there we go. Okay, that'll do. So this is the microphone from the Vive.
It's muffled. It's disgusting. It picks up horribly at these recordings. And yeah, I'll also put like a note here somewhere about it, like just how bad it is. I'll be like, can confirm. Post editing Daz here, can confirm. I'll probably put something like that over here. But I'm gonna switch back to my AC 2020. I'll be here after this ends.
Okay, we are back to the glory of the AC 2020, but that also being said, with the quality of the sound that comes from the headset is bad, and the attached earphones that come with the headset also sound like ass. Like, my goodness, I didn't think that attached earphones could sound that bad. After the index, I was like, okay, this is probably the standard, right? No. The like little spatial microphones on the Quest 2 puts the headphones on this thing to shame. I took them out. I'm using a separate pair of headphones on top of this because it's just a better option. I don't know what they were thinking with the earphones that come attached to it. Headphones, earphones, whatever you want to call them. They're not good. Probably the Vive Pro 2 has the same headphones. They're probably just as bad. I would also assume any other headset that uses the similar strap method as Vive probably has similar poor audio. I don't know about, like, I've seen pictures of the Pico, or not the Pico, the Pimax, and that head strap looks like it has similar headphones attached to it. I don't know. I don't have a Pimax. I'm not crazy enough to buy one. So I can't give you a yes or no on that. But God, it's so bad. Like, what the fuck, man? They should have probably invested, a little more money into the headphones. Oh, we have better resolution than the Index. We have OLED screens. Okay, awesome. You got me. OLED? Fantastic. Better resolution? Ooh, cool. Refresh rate's locked at 90, but you know what? I'll live with it. I am spoiled by 144 refresh rate on my Index. I'll admit. I am spoiled by it. But 90's not bad. I can live with 90 if it has an OLED screen. So, OLED, better resolution. Okay, great. Eye tracking, fantastic, because I bought the Pro Eye. But the little details, right? The fit of the headset, the lack of ventilation on the headset, or the earphones, the microphone. What? Huh? How would this get past quality control? Like, these are like the primary communication devices of the headset. Your microphone, your headphones, it's how you hear and speak to people, especially within VR chat. How did that not get quality control to be a better standard? You're coming off of the Vive 1, the original Vive, and you're like, it's okay, we still have these parts. We'll just slap them into the Vive Pro. I can only assume that's they did, because I don't see any other reason why they would bump up the resolution and give you an OLED screen and not and not improve on the other aspects of the headset. Like, huh? Okay, thanks HTC. And they even reverted back to LCD screens for the Pro 2. Like, what are you doing, HTC? And there's no eye-tracked version of the Pro 2. So they're just like cutting features. They're just like up the chopping block, up chopping block, up chopping block, and then keeping the really bad things about the headset. It's already a much more expensive headset. Okay, the Pro Eye, if you bought the full kit, is like $1,800, right? That's, I think that was retail price for when it was released. I know the Pro by itself, standalone, like the kit with the 2 base stations and the controllers, was $1,200. I know the Pro 2 is $1,200, but it's just not worth the money, man. Whoa, that was a weird crack. Okay, it's just not worth the money, man. $1,200 for slightly better resolution than the NX. Okay, OLED. I'll pay extra for an OLED. Fine, whatever. I'll pay extra for an OLED. But I bought this thing for $800 used. When they sell for, okay, what retail price for one of these was $900 headset up by itself. So like, I paid basically retail for this thing. Used. That's just not worth the money, man. If you can pick up a Vive Pro Eye for $700 or below, worth it. Headset by itself, $700 or below, worth it. But anything higher than that, you're just tossing money in the garbage. This thing isn't worth $800. I shill for the Index, right? I'll fully admit that I'm an Index shill, but at least with the Index, and you're buying the full kit, you get the best controllers, get 2 base stations, you get the headset that has 144 refresh rate. Like, it's $1,000. Not everybody has $1,000. Not everybody wants to save for $1,000. Or can save for $1,000. But like, $800 for just this headset? No. Not worth it. And that doesn't even get me remotely started on what you have to do to get an avatar that has eye tracking and the blend shapes for eye tracking. So, okay, a lot of furry avatars come with the blend shapes already on the avatar model, so that's fine. But like avatars like this, you either have to do it yourself or commission somebody to add the blend shapes. And that can be just as pricey as a new headset. You could pay anywhere from $100 to $300 plus for someone to add the blend shapes and test the face tracking capability for an avatar. Or get lucky and find an avatar in Gumroad that has the blend shapes and everything on it. But then you're settling for maybe an avatar you don't actually want to use, right? I don't know. Like, meh. That's another topic for another day. That's Future Nez's problem to talk about, because I got a lot to talk about with face tracking. But hardware-wise, this headset's not worth it. Don't spend your money on a Vive Pro Eye. Don't spend your money on a Quest Pro. Eye tracking is not really worth it. Ooh, it's neat. You can see where I'm looking. Ooh. But like, it's very niche. Don't buy it. Okay, I think that's all I got for this kind of review rant on the Vive Pro Eye. I'll talk about face tracking later. I'll talk about some of this stuff later. I don't care about making money off of this, so if you want to leave a comment, go ahead. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!